Next up, we have a very interesting session on cyber focus in 2023, global reliance on OT and ICS. The discussion will outline the growing importance of OT and ICS for industry-wide mission-critical infrastructures and delve deep into solving the biggest Industry 4.0 challenges by lowering costs and improving efficiencies. For this session, we have with us James Tang, who's the Group CIO of the Malaysia-based UCSI group of companies and comes with over 25 years of corporate experience in software development, digital transformation, digitalization strategy, IT project, and people management. And moderating this session would be Andrew Chang, who's the Advisory Solution Consultant, Security and Risk at ServiceNow. Welcome, James and Andrew, and over to you, Andrew.
Right. Good day, James. First and foremost, thank you for spending time with us today. With your vast experience and years in the industry, right? I've looked into your profile and all that. You have really got all the required experience and exposure, right? We are actually looking to seek our observation with regards to the topic of this particular session, which is on operational technology and industrial control systems, right? So let's not waste time. Let us begin. For the first questions that I would like to get your thought and input here is that what are the main challenges Industry 4.0 is facing when it comes to security?
Okay, first of all, my name is James. I'm the Group CIO of UCSI, which is actually primarily in education, okay? So actually the main challenge right now for the IR 4.0, actually the first thing I think is very common is cybersecurity threat. So with the increase with all the connectivity and automations, then you will become a higher risk of cyber attack, especially the data breach and also the unauthorized access. And you know that we are university, actually, our threat is even higher because that we have more than 10,000 students that connected together with each of the students have 2 devices connected. That actually increase the risk of actually the data breach and also like the data leak and also lead to the pool of the ransomware attack. And second thing is lack of standardized security protocol. As you see now, it's become much more confusing. As you know that every day they have a new security protocol coming up from various in the world. And this actually leads to people like us as the CIO, which one actually the security protocol do we follow. And because it's too many information that out there, sometimes it leads to the CIO and also CISO will have problem which one is protocol we should standardize and to follow. This is the second thing that I think is when it comes to the IR4 challenges. And also that they have a lot, especially for the company like us, we have more than 36 years in market, and we have a lot of legacy system and equipment. And most of them basically that are really old and they might be don't have built-in the security features. So it's making them actually very difficult to susceptible to the attack. They prove to be attacked by external. So if they know the system well and because the legacy system it's very easy for cyber attacker to target us. And the fourth one, I think, is the human error and also the insider threat. And most of the cyber security, and I think it's more than about 80%, actually when cyber attack and security data breach occur, it's mostly an insider. So actually the data breach or whatever is leaked from inside to external. So like for example, some of the employee that they accidentally expose the data to external, that accidentally share especially right now because so many share drive that you accidentally share the drive and you forgot to close it. So someone actually and you put your password inside the same folder. So actually this causes, the cyber attacker, they have a chance to attack into our university system. And then right now, actually, the people is always talking about the supply chain vulnerability. So things like, the complexity of interconnected system make it challenge be to identify and address for each of the security weaknesses for all the supply chain devices. So actually, it's as Industrial 4.0 scale up, managing the security become even more demanding. Okay, this is point number 6. And also, this I will classify is very important thing, is lack of awareness and also the training. Today, a lot of people that, even though a experienced lecturer, they're teaching the computer science, also being attacked by the ransomware. And because there's too many, and especially the introduction of the ChatGPT, they can actually generate a very professional phishing email that sent to your email that you thought is the link is safe, it looks like safe, but if you don't check in detail, when you click on it, and voila, your laptop or PC being infected by Trojan Horse or even ransomware. And that's why that as part of the initiative as educations, every week we send out a newsletter, a security newsletter to our internal staff and also our students. And every week we come out with the quiz as part of our KPI evaluation, where you need to answer and complete all the security questionnaire. And also that it's very difficult, I think today, is implementing the security updates, because some of the time, we need to be connected to apply to the security updates. And some of the legacy old system, they don't have the auto update capability from the server. So we had to go through the machine by machine. And sometimes you forgot to update one server, and this is the point that the cyber attacker take the weakest point to attack. So to address all these challenges actually require a very comprehensive and also a proactive approach actually in terms of the cybersecurity, including a very robust of encryptions, very strong authentication mechanism, and also that continue monitoring what actually happening. The network engineer, the cyber security engineer need to continue monitoring what happening inside, and also a regular employee training, and actually the collaborate across the industry to establish a security standard. This is actually my view for the question that you raised to me. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much for your input here. Let's proceed with the second question. For question number 2, what are the critical things to keep in mind when deploying security solutions for OT and ICS to protect mission-critical infrastructures? Please go ahead.
So actually, this is the question that always actually make the CIO in dilemma, because that in the sense of, today CIO also oversees the Chief Information Security Officer, CISO role. And because of that, we actually getting the central bank of approval to running our own university e-money application, the e-wallet application. Then actually that we are actually prone to drag ourselves into the security threat, and also the compliances need to be introduced, a new CISO to be in, and also need to be compliances in terms of anti-money laundering, all these cybersecurity new things, new terminology. So when we're deploying the security solution and in the OT and ICS to protect the mission critical infrastructure, especially our learning management portal, our e-wallet server, or our student ERP system, the hospital information system. So they have a few critical factors we always keep in ourselves. And that's the first thing, I think, is most of the thing we need to have constantly a risk assessment. So every quarters, actually, my network security team, they will conduct a risk assessment, sometimes together once a year with external cybersecurity expert to identify potential vulnerability and threat to our OT and ICS environment. So because we understand the potential, the impact of the security breach on our mission critical infra. And second thing is that we will be always segmentation and isolate our application architectures. So that we always ask my engineer to do a network segmentations and to isolate all the critical backend system from non-critical one. Okay, and on this other way, and we cannot allow any network security to be compromised. So and also that our entire infrastructure, even though have been attacked, we can isolate the weak point to be impact the others internal mission critical infrastructure. And the third thing that access control and privilege management, that means IAM, PAM, which actually we are in the middle way of moving toward this direction. And certain things like, for example, the access control to the server, which actually is a very critical one, and we always require logs and require a two-factor authentication to be logged into our server to make changes, to apply the security patch, and etc. So, and then also we very enforce the strict access and to limit the user privilege. Even though I am as a CIO, I don't have full access privilege to our backend, to my backend server. Actually, it's to minimize the risk of the server is getting or somehow is getting hacked and compromised with the security breach. And the patch management. So we always, on the server, whenever they have a patch available, and I always want my team to be the first one to download the patch and apply it across our environments. And of course, it's still again, it keep on monitoring and what do you call that? Abnormal activity. So abnormal activity that they have. We try to implement the AI that they can able to detect abnormal activity, because as human, we can't 24/7 easily sit there and monitor the thing. So sometimes when off work time, the job has to be passed to an AI security system that keep on constantly monitor and any unusual activity. That is a reason recently we are looking towards a cybersecurity tool that can actually give us the flexibility to automate the potential attack, and also that the intrusions and the detection and prevention, so that we subscribe to third party endpoint protections with like firewall, cloud firewall, to detect is there any potential detection. Intrusion happen to our server, especially like, for example, DDoS attack, for example, that what they call it, certain data steal attack, or SQL, even SQL injection to happen to our to dedicate to our self on premises hosting data center. And also that we, for the encryption and data that we are moving toward, to block change all our student information, our patient information, so that it will kind of to protect in the sense of, even though that ransomware attack one of the server, the other nodes, blockchain node, were able to identify there's a difference against the other 6 or 7 server, where he can reject the server, and we easily can take out the nodes and implement a clean node to replicate back the data from the other 7 nodes. This is actually the implementation approach which is currently we are undergo on it. And basically that, and also that for physical security, that we have a branded firewall, like for example Palo Alto, actually to protect our own premises data center. And also that we have a proper incident response plan. Whenever incident happens, that we have a proper follow-up SOP to be followed. For example, we have to be report to the authority that our server has been attacked. We have to report to the senior management that have attacked to our data center. and also that each activity of recovery need to be recorded down, and basically that it will become a guide and also a guide toward the future attack. So when future attack, my team will know what to do. What's the first thing, who to contact, and which on the data center, who is the key contact person in order to actually to take the first layer of protection first. All these things have to be recorded down properly, and also that again that our people, the employee, and also that we undergo some of the basics security training and awareness, which basically that every month that we have organized a free session about 60-minute to 90-minute cybersecurity session. Sometimes we invite, the enforcement to come to our campus to give a talk. And sometimes we invite a cybersecurity expert from industrial come to collaborate with university to organize informative on security awareness talk inside our university. And basically that also that we also collaborate with a vendor to get the latest firewall, the latest what is the latest security threat outside outside our university, because that even though we are university, we have to be keep on par and also that keep updated with what's happening outside our campus, and also that we also work with the government and the authority to comply with all the regularity actually compliances. So all these things we have to be compliant with all the government's law, Cybersecurity Act. We have to be compliant with all the PDPA, all this information. We have to be compliant with, because we're storing customer credit card, we have to be compliant with all the IDSS. All these things actually, we have the risk and security management team that actually to set out to set out the process to governance that. And also that we always have a redundancy and backup. So our backup, we use industrial rate of backup that actually to back up the data and almost twice daily. So all those data that actually is back up to our data recovery data center, which located about 70 kilometers away from our premises. And also that we have all the continuous implementation and updates that apply to our data center. So I believe that by taking all the holistic approach that I mentioned just now, that to the security and integration, integrating all these critical elements and bring them all together, all the mission critical infrastructure can be better protected against those cyber threats in the evolving landscape of, I think, the OT and ICS security. Because you know that in the world, IT world, every day technology is changing. Every day there's a new cybersecurity threat actually coming to us. I think that's all my answer. It's my view. Yeah.
Great. Now, let's move on to question number 3. Now, according to research, over 8,000 vulnerabilities were published in Q1 of last year. Right? Give us your expert review of the OT cybersecurity threat landscape for this particular year, 2023.
I won't say it's an expert view. I would say that from the experience that our university every day actually having an attack from external, of course that we monitor the increasing of the cyber attack, especially when we launched the e-money and e-wallet, anything related to money, or even though that, because of we keep on rising in the QS university ranking, this actually will draw the traffic from cyber attacker and target us. So normally they will target us on the portal that running the monetary portal, the e-wallet, the university ERP system where students make the payment online. they try actually to steal all the credit card info. They try to steal, hijack our transaction. And luckily that with compliances with all HTTPS, encrypted, secure transaction, and compliant with PCI DSS. So basically that even though they've attacked, but the attempt of the attack very minimal actually the impact on our system. And always we are almost weekly or monthly that become the ransomware target on our OT. Basically that the incident happened a few months ago that ransomware has been planted in one of our PC that they only start attack after a week. That means actually there is like hibernating for about weeks and they start to encrypt the data. So basically that the lucky thing is because of implementing some of the monitoring system, the system triggers they have unusual activity actually this because of encrypting of the data happening. So immediately if we get the SMS notification in our network system, we actually disconnect the device in our network because to prevent it to be spread. And I think because it's just a PC, we are okay to totally clean up the PC and bring in the new one, the new OS, the new firmware, just to eliminate the ransomware. And also that, you know, that the supply chain vulnerability, we have a lot of equipment that, for example, access point, for example, that a projector, for example, the smart board TV, and all these things are part of our supply chain. They actually, they are all the devices, they have their own BIOS embedded into the thing. And most of the BIOS, I think, they are very weak. They lack of security. Sometimes, I think that recent research actually show us even the famous, PC manufacturer. I don't want to mention the name. And they run through the scanning of supply chain, and they found out actually about 30% of the supply chain, I mean, on their BIOS OS levels, that have been hijacked and implant implant a Trojan Horse inside the BIOS level of the supply chain devices. Okay, and basically this also bring us a track where we are actually looking how actually to prevent that. Even though until recently there is no much data show that the attack will be severe, but I would believe that the attack will be much more on the data leak. So that slowly collect the data and send over to their server. That this is going to cause the data leak. That, for example, your credit card information or other banking information data leak. Okay, and also that, as I mentioned earlier, that a lot of legacy system, they are still very weak on cybersecurity part, especially that the security patch, the things that some of the legacy system, maybe the support is already end of life. So but because of the limited budget, we still maintain it, especially for example the billing system. Like for example, one of the example is the HP Keenan. So HP Keenan, the billing system. Okay, and also that the nation state threat. I think basically that it's almost like I think you still remember a few years ago they have a ransomware called WannaCry. They cost almost the whole I think that Russia is a country that they face the biggest things, and billion of dollars been lost because of the attack, and now even with all the implementation of all the AI, the attack become much more AI driven attack. So the attack, it can be learn your infra, and it will be automated. That they're sending a scout or bots to gather information of the server. What OS your server is running, what internet services you are running, which TCP/IP port you are using. All this is being done by AI bots. They keep on scouting. They keep on finding the loophole on your data center or on your server. So and against always human factors. And we've recently found a lot of our login user, login student, login credential being sold in dark web. But mostly that those are graduate students. That it's lucky that my security team, whenever the alumni that left our university, that account will be suspended. So they're no longer able to get access for all the single sign-on application they used to have, like when they are student in our university. And of course that they have always constantly regulatory changes. So sometimes that we have to be always keep up to date. What is the changes like? How actually we comply with that, and actually to address all the evolving cyber security landscape, like our MCMC is for MCMC stand for Multimedia Commissioning in Malaysia. So they keep on sending up information. What is the recent cybersecurity threat, for example, happening in 2022? What is the risk? What is how many percentage? All these things actually they've been audited and be sent to us as a member. And we, as a member of the MCMC, will always want to comply and go together with their directions. Okay. I think that's my answer for the question number. Yep.
Okay, that's great, James. Thanks for your input as well. Now let's proceed with question 4. Yeah. What will be your suggestion, right, when it comes to OT and IT security trends and strategies to follow for the year 2023? Yeah. Where should we be focusing on? What will be the thought process behind it?
I think I attend a lot of cybersecurity events. Of course, that the more I attend, the more confused I am. Yeah, this is too many because that how to follow. But I summarized a few very important things that I would say is very important for most of the industry or also for our education center need to follow. I think first thing is Zero Trust. Everyone is talking about the Zero Trust architect. But how many people really know how a Zero Trust approach can be implemented within our institutions? For example, that company A will say their Zero Trust is perfect together with their PAM and IAM, all these things. But certain X companies say, hey, no, software-based is not good, hardware-based is good. So they still have an argument there, which one is the best? And sometimes we as a user, and because of many information, and we're very confused. So normally for this type of thing, we will be invite external cybersecurity experts to consult us and advise us what to follow. And with the emerging of, you see, AI, everything, every day people talk about the ChatGPT. Every day people talk about the newest Microsoft product called Copilot. There's AI-based things coming out. Yeah, AI is good, AI is great. But AI also create a very more powerful, cyber attack. They call it AI cyber attack. So they create engine that can machine learning that they can learn and detect your server vulnerability or loophole, and from the loophole they try to attack inside your networks. And also that and I will be saying we will try to implement behavioral biometrics. Actually, for two-factor biometric, actually, we call it behavioral biometric, actually, to enhance user authentication and detect suspicious activity. For example, that we work with our postgraduate student that is safe in order actually to access our data center. Besides the password, can we use facial recognition? can we use the what they call the iris recognition with the combination of these two-factor password and facial recognition or iris recognition. Then we only allow us to log into the server farm or server OS, things like that. So and also we're implementing a very secure communication protocol. For example, we will be trying to adopt those equipment that support communication, secure communication, in order to safeguard our data transmission in between our OT and ICS devices. That recently that actually that of course that we just recently refreshed our AP. That one of our AP requirement, the newer AP, even though for the Wi-Fi 6, we must tell the vendor the AP data transmission had to be secure using a very high secure protocol in data transmission, and also that the cloud security in OT and ICS. For us, it doesn't apply much because that we only on the journey of 10% of migrating our existing data center and application to cloud. So the most of the the cloud-based security protection we have is using the Akamai's DDoS attack prevention. For example, we are using the Cloudflare for endpoint and also for WAP protection, and also that all these things actually, but it's applied only, for example, that learning management portal. So those that online study, everything we hosted in cloud because of the server CPU calculation, especially for video transmission. I would say cloud is still the best option to go. And also that we have come up with, we call it university and also the healthcare consortium. They gather all the CIO inside the consortium. Every day we share about the threat that we are facing. So we actually inform each other. There are new threats outside there, which actually you should be aware of. So basically, with the help of the consortium in different industrial, also he protect us for getting attacked. Okay, and you were asked about on the strategy side. I think as a CIO, they have a lot of things that actually will be people, company A, they will say this strategy is good. Company B, especially the consulting, their strategy B. But for my personal own view from throughout the 25, 26 years of experience, I would say that the continued monitoring and threat hunting is the way we should go. So, like for example, by implementing the continuing monitoring, like become much more proactive to hunt all the threat, it will be help to prevent all the cybersecurity attack. Okay, and also that the patch, the security patch management, and also that all the vulnerability assessment. So every year we go through all getting the third party to scan through our network to identify which equipment they need to have a patch, which actually having the security vulnerable, and actually what is the right way actually to overcome this security. Is there a patch available? If no patch, how is the security prevention to protect our device or equipment? And again, it's a multi-factor authentication, which I say password plus facial recognition, or even voice or even the iris recognition. Okay, and again, the strategy actually to at least to get our 80% of our staff and employee go through the training, cybersecurity training and awareness, deliver all the message to them, require them to go through the assessment test, cybersecurity assessment test, online assessment test, and also have a proper plan of the DR, disaster recovery and business continuous in planning. How actually, what will happen? What is the SOP if our data center being attacked by cyber trooper? For example, what is our backup plan? How actually we want to recover all the data that we have lost? Let's say in ransomware, for example. All these things had to be in place. All these things had to be have a proper process. For example, when this happened, who should we contact? First layer of contact, second layer of contact, and third layer of contact. All this had to be proper documented down, and also that regulatory compliance and standard. Always follow all the standards come out with that for example, our MCMC and always compliance with all the standard and security awareness that require us to go training. We must send our people to go training, and also that the vendor assessment, security vendor assessment. So every new equipment we want to bring to our network, we had to go through the security assessments first. We to get through a third party, neutral cybersecurity expert to run through the test through the equipment before we put them into our networks. So I have to be said, we have to be always remember that the actual trend and strategy of OT and ICS in moving forward in 2023 might be influenced by the new technology advancement. That's why I mentioned the AI and the emerging of the cybersecurity track, and also the regulatory changes. They have to be always what is the new regular come out? What is the changes? We have to try to comply with that. And also, it's very, very crucial to stay informed with up to date the information and about the cybersecurity, and always follow the cybersecurity expert and tailor-make your own security approach accordingly. I think that this is my strategy plan for UCSI.
All right, thank you. Now, for the last question for this particular session, right? As a CISO or CIO for many years with multiple companies across various regions, what will be your advice for the other CISOs that is attending today's session when it comes to their cybersecurity focus for this particular year 2023 as well? Could you provide some guidance to the rest of the attendees here?
This question actually addressed to CISO. I will say I will not fully qualify as CISO, but I try myself to answer the question. And I will say few things actually is to, first thing I think is to enhance the threat detection. And also that response, how actually when threat happening, what is our response rate? So that, for example, the recently I read one is SIEM security, the SIEM, how actually react and respond on that. And second thing that I mentioned in earlier question, zero trust to implement network and everyone actually the supply chain security is pretty new to us, which actually my team still actually continue learning on that. And basically that also that the security automation and also the orchestrations, this actually we need to always try to make the automation to replace human works whenever that during office hours, okay? And again, it's all our staff, employees, awareness and trainings, which actually we are actually encouraging to be done at least twice monthly, okay? In terms of using the email newsletter, in terms of forcing them actually to answer the cybersecurity question as part of the KPI, which contribute 5% of their personal improvement, thing like that. Okay, and the cloud security that we are also focusing, how actually when we move to cloud, what is the security measurement? Because more for the past 35, 36 years, UCSI is all the data center been hosted on premise. So right now we are slowly moved to towards the cloud. That my team need to be to be trained, to retrain, to adopt the cloud security. So the skill set need to be upskilled again on the cloud security side. And also the reason I think that for past 1 or 2 years, people are talking about cyber insurance. Means that they have an insurance company actually that you can buy insurance to protect your data, your system to be attacked by cyber trooper. So this actually become a trend now. We have a CIO groups that actually talking about few company, especially in banking side or insurance side, they already start to purchase the cybersecurity insurance. Okay, and also that constantly do a pen test with external party, especially those application they have a lot of data information to throw out. For example, credit card information, payment system, e-money, e-wallet. And this is actually is required also by the Central Bank of Malaysia that you at least 1 year you need to do one time of cyber pen test and cyber security pen test actually to in order to renew our license. Okay, and also that the PDPA, data protection and privacy, that which actually we need to comply because we host a lot of student data. Okay, I would say their parent information, their national identity number, their bank account number, their credit card number is all stored to our system. We have to be very, very careful actually in order to protect all the data. And also that collaboration and information sharing. As in university, all information is sharing across. So how actually the sensitivity and especially right now with the implementation of ChatGPT, how actually we will need to educate our internal user not to leak out. You know, a lot of people that accidentally paste, ChatGPT, can you help me? This is my last year, what they call it, student data. Can you help me to generate a report? You know that means actually you are leaking your student information out to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT constantly learning for whatever information you feed to them. And I think the recently the very very last thing is leaked is Samsung. One of the Samsung programmer, they put out the one of the driver device source code. Ask ChatGPT to resolve a bug. Is that means that are you leaking out the Samsung internal source code to the world? So this is actually it's a risk. It's a risk to the company, especially they touch with the IP right on the software, and also that the continuity of the improvement on our internal security patch. All this is very, very, very important. I think the last, at least that, we have to be remembered. The cyber landscape, I think, is constantly evolving. Every day is, like you say just on the last year report, how many thousands of, maybe close to 1 million of attacks, what they call new threat actually coming up. So we have to be, as a CIO, we have to be always keep in mind that we have to be very essential to remain the flexibility and also the effective of all our approach on the cybersecurity. So like, for example, how actually we adapt ourselves to face the newer cybersecurity threat that come to us. And also that regular to reassess all our cybersecurity focus. So is that, are we actually following the right cybersecurity standard? Or are these cybersecurity standards we are actually currently using, is this suitable to us? So we have to be constantly reassess and also and very sensitive on the emerging cybersecurity threat. And also in terms of the internal staff, okay, how actually we keep on upskilling keep them informed of the new security threat that happening in outside world.
Right. Again, thank you very much, James, for all the inputs that you have gathered us. I believe it will be very, very beneficial to all our attendees that have attended the session today. Thank you again.
Thank you, Andrew.
Great. Thanks, Andrew, for hosting this session. And thank you so much, James, for joining us and sharing your insights on this topic. Thank you so much for sharing all those insights on how we can, protect our mission critical infrastructure in OT and ICS. Thank you once again for joining us.